Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, it's still not enough? Like you're living your life on a stage, performing for everyone else and hoping for their approval. If that resonates with you, you're not alone. I have been there too. For years I thought I have to prove myself to others through my education, my career, even the way I presented myself to the world. But here is the twist. No matter what I achieved, it was never enough. And the turning point that finally freed me from this cycle, it wasn't what I expected. Let me explain. Why do you think you care about what others think? Is it a fear of judgment? The need to fit in? Or maybe the pressure to live up to the expectations that aren't even yours? It all comes down to how your brain is wired. The human brain has a part that calls the amygdala, often referred to as the fear center. Thousands of years ago, the amygdala helped our ancestors avoid danger by triggering fear and responses when they faced threats. In those times, rejection from a group could mean being left alone in the wild, which was life-threatening. This made social approval a matter of survival. Even though we don't face the same threats today, our brains still respond to social rejection as it's a life or death situation. The amygdala activates whenever we sense criticism or judgment, releasing stress hormones like cortisol, and makes us feel anxious or uneasy. In other words, your brain is still using instant survival mechanism in the modern social situation. Think about this. Have you ever posted something on social media and kept checking your phone to see how many likes or comments it got? That's your brain craving for validation and fearing rejection. Or maybe you have hesitated to speak up in a meeting because you were worried about saying the wrong thing and being judged. That is the amygdala keeping you in a safe mode, even when there is no real danger. Another example is when you buy something expensive, not because you really need it, but because you want to impress others. Maybe it's a fancy car, a designer handbag, or the latest gadgets. That urge often comes from wanting to feel accepted or respected by others, even if it doesn't align with what truly makes you happy. These reactions are normal, but understanding that they are rooted in an outdated survival instinct can help you start questioning why you care so much. When you see these patterns in your life, you can begin to break free from them. The problem is, this fear often leads us to live for other people's approval. We make decisions based on what others will think instead of what we truly want. And over time, this takes a toll. It leaves us feeling lost, unfulfilled, and disconnected from who we really are. Do you ever feel like you're stuck living someone else's dream? Like you're following a script that doesn't really feel right for you? Or society doesn't make it any easier, does it? From the time we are kids, we are taught to follow a specific path. Go to school, get some good grades, graduate, and get a respectable job and settle down. And tick all the boxes one for one. If you deviate from that path, you are seen as a different or even a failure. Then there is social media. Every time you scroll, you're bombarded with images of people living their best life. Vacation, promotion, perfect families. It's like a highlight reel of what you should have been achieving. And if you're not there yet, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. But here is the truth. None of these external markers of success will make you happy if they don't align with who you truly are. And I have learned that the hard way. Just like most people, I wanted recognition. Things changed fast for me. I got engaged at the age of 21 and we want to marry at 23. We had our dream wedding planned. It was going to cost us around $30,000. But then COVID hit and suddenly everything felt impossible. We were scraping together money, trying to make it work. And I remember thinking, how can we pull this off? What happened next changed everything. Not just the wedding, but how I lived my life. Here's what I did. We made a decision and that shocked everyone around us. I told my parents, I'm sorry, but I can't give a big wedding. We are gonna keep it small, just a dinner. People were furious. Society talked so bad about us, and they weren't kind about it at all. But Here's the surprising part. By saying no to expectations, we saved $30,000. And today, that money has grown by 30%. Would I make the same decision again? Absolutely. Here's why. That wasn't the only time I had to say no what others thought I should do. Quitting my job was not a big moment in my life. I wasn't just about leaving a paycheck behind. It was like stepping in the unknown with no guarantee. Most people will call that crazy, right? And honestly, I almost didn't go through with it. But what happened next showed me just how much growth happens when you take a risk. This reminds me of something Albert Einstein said. What is right is not always popular. And what is popular is not always right. And when I heard that, it hit me really hard. Like, living authentically often means making choices that others won't understand. But it is those choices bringing you closer to your truth. They are worth it. I have realized something important. Growth doesn't happen where it's comfortable. Think about the moments in your life when you grew the most. Were they easy? Probably not. Staying comfortable, whether it's in a job you hate, a relationship that isn't working, or a life that feels safe, keeps you stuck. So I had to ask myself, do I want to stay where I am, or do I want to see what's possible? The answer wasn't easy, but it completely changed my life. And that brings me to one of my favorite quotes by Malcolm X. Malcolm X said, "If you're not ready to die for it, put the word freedom out of your vocabulary." And while that might sound extreme, it speaks to something real. Whether it's freedom to live authentically or to pursue your dreams, requires courage. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing uncertainty, even when it's terrifying. So, how do you stop caring about what others think and start living authentically? Here are a few things that worked for me. Number 1, focus on your own values. Ask yourself, what do I truly care about? What brings me joy? Once I aligned my life with those values, everything changed. But getting there wasn't easy. Here's how I did it. Number 2, take small risks. Saying no to things that doesn't align with your values, even if it's uncomfortable. I never forget the first time I said no to an opportunity that didn't feel right. It was terrifying, but the freedom I felt afterward, unmatched. Number 3, challenge negative thoughts. When you catch yourself worrying about what others think, ask, why does their opinion matter? You will be surprised how freeing it is to let go of all those worries and focus on what truly matters. Number 4, surround yourself with the right people. Spend time with those who support you and respect your boundaries. The right people encourage you to grow, not to hold you back. And when you have that kind of support, you stop needing validation from the wrong places. Number 5, face your fears. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. It's not easy, but it's worth it, believe me. And the more you do it, the less you will care what others think. Since making these changes, I have never felt so free or happy. I love the work I do and it aligns with who I truly am. I care less about what others think because I know I'm living my truth. And here is what I want you to take away. You don't need to have meet anyone else's expectation to feel worthy. The only person you need to prove anything to is yourself. Start small, focus on what matters to you, and take that first step toward living authentically. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on living your best life. Thank you for watching.